तो दोस्तों इस वीडियो में हम जानेंगे क्वार्टाइल, क्वार्टाइल डेविएशन और कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ क्वार्टाइल डेविएशन के बारे में। तो सबसे पहले क्वार्टाइल को समझते हैं। क्वार्टाइल आर द वैल्यूज दैट डिवाइड आवर डाटा इनटू क्वार्टर्स। तो क्वार्टाइल वो वैल्यूज होती हैं जो हमारे डेटा को क्वार्टर्स में डिवाइड करती है, मतलब 4 इक्वल पार्ट्स में डिवाइड करती है। So in order to calculate quartiles, we follow the following steps. First, we put the list of numbers in order. हमारे पास जो भी डेटा होता है उसको हम एक ऑर्डर में सेट कर लेते हैं। Then cut the list into 4 equal parts और उसके बाद फिर उस लिस्ट को 4 बराबर पार्ट्स में डिवाइड कर देते हैं और जो नंबर उन कट्स के सिरे पर होते हैं वो नंबर्स जो है वो क्वार्टाइल्स कहलाते हैं। So this is more like a median where the median divides the data set into 2 equal halves. Similarly, the quartiles are used to divide a data set into 4 equal quarters. And as the quartile and the median both, they divide the numbers according to their position in the number line. So we have to put the numbers in order before you can figure out where the quartiles are. अब क्वार्टाइल्स मीडियन की तरह ही होते हैं और मीडियन जो है वो 2 भागों में बांटता है, क्वार्टाइल 4 भागों में बांटते हैं। और क्योंकि ये नंबर्स को उनके नंबर लाइंस के हिसाब से रिप्रेजेंट करके बांटते हैं तो हमें इनको पहले शॉर्ट करना पड़ता है, असेंडिंग या डिसेंडिंग ऑर्डर में अरेंज करना पड़ता है। So let us understand the concept of quartile with the help of an example. So we will take the example of age of a group of students, and the first thing which we will have to do in order to calculate quartile is to arrange this group in order and preferably in ascending order. So here we have arranged the data in ascending order starting from 2 till 12. Then we will divide data into 2 equal parts, and in order to do that we will do n divided by 2. So the count of data or students in our case is 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So we will form a group of 6 students each. So the data is now divided into 2 equal parts from the median, and then we will again divide this into 2 groups each. Now we have 4 groups which is having equal number of data, and if you will observe, the count of data or observations in each group is 25% of the total data or 1/4 of the total data, and our quartile values shall be at the extreme end of each of these newly created partitions. So for Q1 our quartile value shall be 5. For Q2 or quartile 2 our value shall be 7. For quartile 3 our value shall be 9. Q4 virtually doesn't exist, but still if you want to know, the value for Q4 will be 12. Since quartiles are the values which divide a data set into 4 equal parts, theoretically we will have 4 quartiles. First quartile, second quartile, third quartile and fourth quartile. So let us understand what does each of this quartile signifies. ये चारों quartiles क्या क्या होते हैं? So the first is Q1 or first quartile. It divides the data such as 1/4 or 25% of the values are below it and the remaining 3/4 or 75% of the values are above it. अगर हमारे पास में 40 लोगों की एज का डेटा है तो उसका 25% और 1/4 10 लोग जो बॉटम या सबसे छोटे 10 लोग हैं वो क्वार्टाइल 1 में आ जाएंगे. Next is Q2 or second quartile. It divides the data or observation into 2 equal parts so that 50% of the observation are below it and 50% of the observations are above it. So this also happens with the median. So second quartile and the median are same things. Next is Q3 or the third quartile. It divides the series such that 3/4 or 75% of the observations is below it and the remaining 1/4 or 25% of the observations are above it. So the third quartile is also called the upper quartile because practically third quartile is the last quartile. Theoretically there shall be a fourth quartile as well. लेकिन ये fourth quartile हमेशा theoretical ही होता है because 100% of the data is covered under the Q4. So it is irrelevant. Whenever you are considering Q4, you are considering 100% of the data or you are actually considering the entire set. So practically Q4 doesn't exist. Q2, we don't call it Q2 for the sake of simplicity. We will always call it median. So the two quartiles which have practical significance from the point of view of statistical analysis are the first quartile or Q1 or the third quartile or Q3, which is also called the upper quartile. So first quartile is called the lower quartile and third quartile is called upper quartile. So earlier we have seen that how we can calculate quartiles by splitting the data first into half, then again each half into half. So we get 4 equal parts of the data. But when the data is large enough, we need a formula to calculate quartiles. It is important to note here that there are different formulas for calculating quartile with no consensus on a single formula. But the most widely accepted formula is the one we will present here. So the general formula to find out quartile can be defined as K multiplied by n plus 1 upon 4. Where K is the quartile count, N is the count of values. Now let us try to find out Q1 with the help of this formula. So when you are trying to find out Q1 or quartile 1, your K will be 1. So your formula becomes 1 multiplied by n plus 1 upon 4. When you simplify this formula, it becomes n plus 1 upon 4. Similarly, to find out Q2, the formula will be 2 multiplied by n plus 1 upon 4. And when we will simplify this formula, it will become n plus 1 upon 2, because 2 and 4 will cancel each other. So 2 upon 4 will become 1 upon 2. And if you remember, n plus 1 upon 2 is the same formula which was used to calculate median of a data, because Q2 is actually the median. So if we have to calculate Q3, the formula will be 3 multiplied by n plus 1 upon 4, and this formula cannot be simplified further. It remains like 3 multiplied by n plus 1 upon 4. Theoretically, for Q4, the formula will be 4 multiplied by n plus 1 upon 4. So the formula will become 4 and 4 will cancel each other. The formula will be n plus 1 upon 1, which is n plus 1, or the count of the population itself. And practically we never have to calculate Q4, because the entire data comes under that. So the formulas which are actually important from statistical analysis point of view are the formula for Q1 and Q3. We also have to note that these formulas will not give you the value of quartile. They will give you the place of the observation in the data set when the data are sorted ascending or descending order. For example, if quartile 1 is 6, it means the sixth number from the bottom is your value of the first quartile. Once we have find out the quartile values, these quartile values can be used to find out other measure of dispersions such as interquartile range. The interquartile range is a measure of where the middle 50 is in the data set. So this represents the values between which 50% of your observations lie, or the middle 50% of your observation lies. The interquartile range is calculated as Q3, third quartile, minus Q1, the first quartile. As we know that quartiles divide data into 4 parts, so each part has to contain 25% of the data. So interquartile range, which is between Q1 to Q3, will contain 50% of the total observations or the total values in the data. One of the prime benefits of using interquartile range as measure of dispersion is that it eliminates outliers, because any outlier, if it exists, it has to exist in either Q1 or at the other extreme end, which is theoretically Q4. So if data is not having any outliers and it is normal distribution, mean and standard deviation are considered to be the best measure of centrality and dispersion respectively. However, if data is having outliers, then median and interquartile range is considered to be a better representation of dispersion. So we will see an example of calculation of interquartile range. We have a data set. So the first thing we will do with this data set is to arrange it in order and preferably in ascending order. So we have arranged this here in ascending order. Then we have to find out the first quartile and the third quartile. So the formula for the first quartile was n plus 1 divided by 4. So the count of values here is 9. So we will do 9 plus 1 divided by 4. So my Q4th value will be the 25th value in the data set arranged in ascending order. So actually there is no 2.5th value, right? Either there is a second value or there is a third value. But there will be no 2.5th value. So what we will do in order to find out the value of 2.5th observation or value is the second value plus third value divided by 2. So it will be 8 plus 9 divided by 2 and my Q1 will be 8.5. Similarly, we will use formula to find Q3, which is 3 multiplied by n plus 1 divided by 4. So 3 multiplied by 9 plus 1 upon 4 is 8.5. So the value of my Q3 or quartile 3 is the 8.5th value in my data set. So in order to find out my 8.5th value, I will have to do 8th value plus 9th value divided by 2. So 8th and 9th value in my data set is 15 and 19. So 15 plus 19 divided by 2 is 17. My quartile 3, third quartile, is 17. Once we have found out Q3 and Q1 for any data set, it's very simple to find out interquartile range, which is Q3 minus Q1. In our example, it is 17 minus 8.5. So interquartile range for this set of data is 8.5. Another important measure of dispersion is quartile deviation. Quartile deviation is the half of the interquartile range. So what we will do in order to find out quartile deviation is to find out interquartile range and divide it with 2. So the formula for quartile deviation will be Q3 minus Q1 upon 2. and it is also called semi-interquartile range. In our example, the quartile deviation shall be 17 minus 8.5 upon 2. So it will come to 4.25. As we know that our interquartile range was 17 minus 8.5, which was 8.5. So the half of 8.5 or 4.25 will be our quartile deviation. While interquartile range and quartile deviations are absolute measure of dispersion, we can also find out a relative measure of dispersion, which is known as coefficient of quartile deviation. Like any other coefficient, coefficient of quartile deviation can also be defined as the relative measure of dispersion based on quartiles. So the formula for coefficient of quartile deviation is Q3 minus Q1 upon Q3 plus Q1. Hope you have gone through my video on range and coefficient of range. If you have not, you should go through it to understand the concept of coefficient in a better way. However, by going through the concept of coefficient, the formula for calculation of coefficient of quartile deviation should be Q3 minus Q1 upon 2 divided by Q3 plus Q1 upon 2, because here quartile deviations are under consideration. But when we simplify this formula, the both two denominators will cancel each other and we will arrive at a simple formula of Q3 minus Q1 upon Q3 plus Q1. Let us calculate coefficient of quartile deviation in our example. So as you remember, the Q3 in our example was 17 and Q1 was 8.5. So we will do 17 minus 8.5 upon 17 plus 8.5, and our coefficient of quartile deviation in this case will be 0.33. Since it involves ratio of two quantities of the same dimension, it is unitless. So this is a suitable parameter for comparing two different set of data who will have different range. So if you have to measure the diversity, or you have to compare the diversity of two different set of data on different scales, the only measure which can be used is the coefficient of quartile deviation when data is also highly skewed or is having outliers. So this was all about quartiles and related measure of dispersions. Hope you found this video useful. If yes, then please like, subscribe, comment and share. We shall come up with more useful videos to simplify statistics for you.